guys, welcome to the first episode of Creative Conversations. My name is Miera Robinson, and some of you know me as Robinson Visual Arts. Today I am here with the talented Amari Cooper, also known as Canon by Coop Photography.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Of course.
Very much appreciated.
Anything for family, you know.
Of course. Period. So I'm going to start off with an icebreaker. Okay. It's going to be this or that and why. Just basically, I'm going to ask you to pick between two things, and then you'll just pick it, and then you'll tell me why.
Okay.
The first one is going to be Canon or Sony.
Canon all day.
And why is
I don't
that?
know. I can't really work with a Sony. I tried before, but it really didn't make sense to me as much. But I really do want to try again this year and kind of broad out my, options and try to work with Sony and Nikon a little bit. So, but yeah, I love my Canon. I've been working with a Canon since high school. So yeah.
What do you think is the most easiest part about using a Canon, or like your favorite part, or that draws you towards it?
Probably just setting my settings is a little more what draws me into it a little better. Compared to all the other cameras I've tried to work with, I get a little confused like halfway through trying to set my settings and stuff like that. So
yeah,
a Canon, I feel like it has the same setting screen on each Canon I've worked with so far. So that's what kind of makes me feel more comfortable with working with a Canon. So,
yeah, that's honestly been my favorite part about working with Canon, is that you can just pick one up and you already know what to do.
Yeah, you already know what you're doing. So, I mean, yeah, shout out to Ms. Brillhart, because she was the one who kind of put us on Canons back in high school. So, but ever since, I have not tried to work with any other camera.
Yeah.
It's too difficult.
Sony's, they're kind of a little bit difficult, because the way I like to describe them at Best Buy is, or when people are like, hey, I'm looking for a camera, I'm like, okay, what are you going to be doing? And then they'll be like, oh, I'm going to be a photographer. Okay, you're going towards Canon. And then if they're like, oh, I'm doing video work, I'll be like, oh, no, you need a Sony, because
the video quality on there is crazy. Compared to a Canon, I would definitely suggest working with a Sony first for videography. But photography-wise, I always suggest a Canon T7 to start off with. That's a camera that, I started off with back in high school, and, it was just the easiest to pick up and work with. So, and that's what technically, if you look up any camera settings for a Canon, it's going to be a Canon T7 regardless. Yeah. So,
Canon, that's the one I started off with.
Man, they're expensive though to find. I will say that. Canon is a little cheaper compared to Sony though.
Mm-hmm. Like a basic Sony camera is easily $600.
Yeah, I don't have the money for that.
All right, so Mac or Windows?
Mac all day. I worked with Windows throughout high school, and very confusing. You get comfortable with Windows as you're in high school, and but as soon as you get out of high school and you get the opportunity to work with like Mac and Apple and stuff like that, everything becomes more like less complicated. To me, it was going into college. We worked with Macs 24/7. There was never a class where I walked in and I had to use a Windows. So, Photoshop is way more easier, in my opinion, on a Mac.
And the images look way better on Mac compared to Windows.
The coloring is a little different on a Windows, in my opinion. I feel like the contrast is down. So, with a Mac, the colors pop a little better. So, Mac all day.
Yeah, and then also when it comes to sending things to yourself,
that AirDrop,
Mac, that was been my favorite thing, because when I had my Windows computer when I first started, I used to have to email my photo shoots back and forth to myself, and it was so hard because the files would be way too big.
That too.
And
I can't never see the file settings on a window compared to a Mac. It'll tell you how many gigabytes or how large a file is. So that's always like the perks of working with a Mac. So
yeah, and it's just Team Apple all the way.
I mean,
even though they're currently in a lawsuit right now. Okay.
Of course.
Speaking of Apple, MacBook or iPad?
Now, this question, it doesn't matter how many times I get asked, I always have to think very deeply about this because I work with both on a daily.
Mm.
Like, today I've had my MacBook and my iPad in my purse. Like, I don't travel anywhere without neither one. But if it came down to editing, I would definitely choose my iPad, especially with my Apple Pencil as well. It comes in very handy when you're trying to get like tight spaces on a person's body, like the eyelashes, stuff like that, you know. Trying to get those real tiny but tight spots on editing. People might say like they don't matter because they're so small, but trust me, if you're a photographer, you can tell like that tiny space really does matter. So I definitely would choose my iPad all day. So
for me, it's gonna be a MacBook.
Yeah, that's
just because I'm a little bit broke and I don't got I don't got money for to have to.
Yeah, shout out to my mama for buying my iPad. You're the best.
All right, wedding photography or studio photography?
That was a hard one too. I would go with wedding photography. You know, not much more for the money, but more of the intimate moments you capture that day. You know, the fact that someone would trust you with a big responsibility like that really means a lot. So, you know, going and capturing, working all day for a wedding is like probably one of the most beautiful things you'll ever do. So I would definitely choose a wedding. I love them deeply. I love, you know, the little detail photos, like getting the ring, getting the dress, you know, stuff like that. And then, you know, the first kiss is always a special moment and you cannot miss that shot. Like you will run across the room damn near for that first kiss, for the kissing part. So like I would definitely choose wedding photography for that. But don't get me wrong, I do love my studio stuff. You know, I could get way more creative in there.
Yeah.
You know, the colors, like today I bought like a yellow backdrop and oh my God, it was like the most best decision I've ever made. And I never worked with a yellow backdrop before. So it was really nice. But yeah, at the end of the day, weddings, you know, plus and you know, the money, but yeah, you know, it's the life of a photographer. You know, you have to make decisions that, you know, could better yourself in the future, but also help you financially. So
yeah, I will say that wedding photography is a lot harder as well because I remember the last wedding I did, I was there from 2 to I think 9, and I was carrying this big camera with me and I was holding it, and I think the worst part about that experience was
carrying it around,
just carrying it around on your, and then you're like, you know, like you said, like running across the way and everything and trying to get those shots, and then you got this big heavy camera and lens, especially that zoom lens.
That's the worst one you could carry all day. Or like when we did the wedding together in Kansas City, I was 6 months pregnant at the time, and it's like I'm on my feet all day, but you know, I have to think financially and stuff like that because I have a child on the way. But hey, you know, we did that 6 months pregnant, you know, and it was the best thing you could ever think of.
Yeah.
So yeah, wedding photography all day.
You did that.
Strong black woman, man.
Period. Strong black and independent. Okay, editorial or professional photography?
That's a new one. Editorial all day. You get very creative. You can step out your comfort zone with that. Editing style for editorial photography is probably one of the best and most fun things I've ever experienced. Just the editing process of editorial photography. Like I'll look at the unedited and I get excited just driving home, just thinking about like an edit I'm gonna do and think about like how it'll affect me as a photographer once I post it. Because you never know, like your editorial stuff can reach, you know, far out of Wichita. So, and I'm known for my editorial work, so I would definitely do that. I'm not really on my professional side as much, but you know, I would like to step more into it this year a little bit to just see, you know, where I'm at a little bit as a photographer. But everybody knows I'm editorial all day. I wouldn't change it for the world. So most definitely.
Period. Yeah, I think editorial would probably be my favorite if I had to choose between the two.
Yeah.
Mainly because you don't get a lot of people that are like, "Hey, can I get a headshot from you?" Like,
Yeah. It's hard getting headshots and like anything professional like
Mm.
wise. I'm constantly getting booked for, hey, it's my birthday coming up. Can I get some birthday photos?
Mm.
Or, the holidays is when everyone gets real creative because, like
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is on the way and I have like a swing set I'm putting in the studio and, I have falling roses from the ceiling and stuff like that. So,
Mm.
you get real creative and editorial with stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the posing is probably the best part. I
Yeah.
would honestly say I love the posing process, especially with people I know who are flexible
Mm.
and can do the pose correctly.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best feelings ever. But now with technology today, you can pose people however you want in
Yeah.
Photoshop. So, but yeah, definitely. I would like to get into my headshot era, but maybe it's not for me.
Yeah. Just tell them if they want a headshot, they can get that one. What's that one app where they were
Oh,
doing
the
people's?
AI.
Yeah, the AI.
Bro, my mom's been doing that. And she'll send it to me, and she got like a big head and a little body, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm like, please don't post that. Like, I probably will unfriend you off of Facebook if you post that.
Imagine
for real.
if she did.
I'm like, please. Then like in some of them, like her skin tones doesn't even match. Like my mom's light skin, and everybody knows that. She does the AI, and her skin comes out like white, and I'm like, Mama, please don't post that. And then with me being the family photographer, it's like, oh, you can edit that, right? No, I don't want to.
AI does its own editing.
Like, you need to work with AI a little more. That or you could just come get your pictures taken by your daughter. But yeah, don't trust AI completely because they will mess up on some qualities of yours.
Unless it's like for video purposes.
Yeah, video purposes. Then I understand.
Trust AI.
So.
Okay, so let's get into your business.
Perfect.
First off, how long have you been shooting?
This will be my 3rd year coming up in October. I've been shooting, well, in business, this will be my 3rd year coming up. I've actually been into photography since high school. Started my freshman year, and it actually started off with film photography. So, that's putting the just a little film in the camera and, getting the developer and stuff in the red room. And that's probably like the most thing that really stood out to me in photography. I love the red room. Because if you watch like, I hate to say, but like, your stalker movies and stuff like that, you always wonder like, okay, what the hell is a red room? Like, what's so special about it? So actually getting to actually be in a red room in my freshman year, like my first year in high school was like, oh, so this is what the creeps be doing. Like, I hate to compare it to stuff like that, but I mean, I don't know how else to compare it, but it really spoke out to me. And from there, I kind of knew that I would want to stay in the art type of area. So after I took film photography, I kind of stayed in photography every other year after high school.
Yeah. You just kind of found out your passion kind of thing?
I really did. And then I even continued into college. And, then after I graduated college, I was like, okay, I'm going to go home and start a business. Like, this is obviously what I want to do. I don't ever see myself working for anybody. I'm like, so I might as well just start my own business. And, here we are, almost 3 years later. And we've been very, like, business has been good, got a studio, stuff like that. So, yeah.
Period. So how would you describe your style of work?
Oh, that's a hard one because I feel like I'm in everything. I would describe it as very editorial, but very versatile. Because I kind of do it all. Like, if you ever book with me before, if you ever see me in public, you know for a fact that I do like events and I do weddings, I do portraits, I do family photos and stuff like that. So I kind of can't stay just in one area.
Yeah.
Now that I'm 3 years in, because I feel like I basically started off with sports, and then I kind of jumped to sports to events, and then from there, everyone knew me as the event girl, and so I was very known for my editorial work at the club. And trying to bring that editorial look to the studio was very transformative of
Mm-hmm.
me. And I was glad that I kind of brought that because it still kept that style of my
Yeah.
editing from the club to the studio. So very editorial, maybe. Trying to think of another way to describe it, but
Yeah.
I love. Like today was my first day. I actually stepped out my comfort zone and I did like pictures with bright colors, and I never do that.
Mm-hmm.
I really like my dark tones and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
you know, very editorial. I can't wait to post
Yeah.
the new me this year. So yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see.
And that's the beautiful thing about art is that you can continue to try things,
Yeah,
trial and error, see what
yeah.
it, see what works for you and what doesn't. So I'm very excited to see what you come up with.
Hey, gotta step out the comfort zone this year. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a plan, so we'll see.
Period. Well, I wish you luck with that. Okay. What made you want to choose photography as a career choice? I think you kind of answered it already, but just to
Yeah,
sum it up.
I mean, I tried other areas of art. I tried design. I was terrible at it. I tried painting. I was okay at it. Um, then I really couldn't find anything else I was good at. I
Mm-hmm.
hate to say that, but I expanded all my other options. Like I was not athletic. Like I had asthma. So I was that was not an option for me. And then I tried to change my major in college, and my mom and my significant other was very opposed to that. Like, no, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You're an artist and you need to stay in that way. And I'm like, I don't think so. Like, but come to find out, yeah, I was. And like, nothing speaks to me on a deeper level than photography.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a photo could tell 100 words. So that's
Yeah.
kind of why I kind of stuck in that area. And I don't ever see myself coming out of it anytime soon. So
Period. Period. Um. Okay. So, what would be your favorite part about being a photographer and why?
editing.
Editing.
It's a long process.
Mm.
It's a terrible process. You get
Yeah.
frustrated, and I don't think some clients understand that. And it's hard, trying to be a young photographer, especially now because photography is very known.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's hard trying to keep your composure and stuff when it comes to editing, and trying not to put the camera down because editing becomes so frustrated to the point it does come down to that.
Yeah.
So over the years, I've tried different ways to calm myself down with editing, but
Mm-hmm.
for the past year and a half now, I found different ways to like definitely calm myself in editing, make
Mm-hmm.
editing a little more easier for me, like with my settings and stuff wise
Yeah.
beforehand. So then when I do go home, editing doesn't take too long for me or it's too difficult. So
How long does it take you to edit one session?
one session, I could get one session done within an hour and a half, maybe. So it really just depends on how many pictures there are. Because I'll tell my clients, like, hey, go ahead and pick your top 10 images. Some clients will pick just the 10. And I'll be like, okay, perfect. I could get this done within,
Mm-hmm.
if it's an outdoor session, I could probably get it done within, 45 minutes to an
Yeah.
hour. If it's an indoor session in the studio, it might take me a little longer, but I can definitely have a session done within a day and send it back. But, out of respect of, just myself, I try to give myself some time to breathe and stuff after
Mm-hmm.
a session. So I usually wait, a week or two to give their edits
Yeah.
back. So,
I feel like 1 to 2 weeks is a typical turnaround
yeah,
time.
I tried to do longer, but, people just become eager after those 2 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
they text and text and text, and I'm like,
Hey, are my photos done?
Yeah,
Are you
literally.
almost done?
That or you'll take
What's the
pictures
holdup?
right after a session. So when am I getting my pictures again? You just left the studio. Like
Exactly. 30 minutes ago.
like
Hold your horses.
I'm like, chill. I got you. I will let you know if there's an update or anything, but like please understand I'm human too. Like,
Exactly.
let me get home, let me get settled. Like, hell, maybe I ain't even ate today or something like that.
Exactly.
So, yeah, please be nice to your photographer.
Exactly.
I'm starving. I'm off of like a whole bunch of Red Bulls right now and like 6 chicken nuggets. I'm like,
wait, like today?
Yeah.
Girl.
I've been at the studio all day since 8 a.m. I'm like,
you need to start bringing some lunches with you.
I'm like, at this point, the whole air fryer coming to the studio with me because at this
Might
point,
as
I can't
well
take
at this point.
I can't take it.
Or you need to have like a little snacks like section where you can have like snacks and you can. At this
point, I'm gonna
like,
take advantage when clients say, "Hey, do you want anything while I'm on the way?" Matter of fact, yes, I do.
Exactly.
Like, stop by McDonald's and grab me this, and I'm like, yeah, I literally ate like 6 chicken nuggets on the way over here and a sugar cookie from Wendy's.
From Wendy's? Oh my god!
Literally haven't ate all day. Like, it's hard. Like,
yeah, it is, especially when
you think you'll have that break in between. You don't.
Yeah,
you really don't.
Yeah.
It's hard though.
Okay. What is the most difficult part about being a photographer and why?
Definitely your there's so much that's so difficult about being a photographer. I can't really pin it on one thing because you know, as artists we struggle with everything, like every day, like trying to find ourselves in our art, you know, editing and, you know, trying to think of ideas, stepping out our comfort zone, stuff like that. My top difficult one would probably be clients that just don't understand or don't read the contract.
Yeah.
That kind of makes work a little more harder for me because then I have to take time out my day and kind of explain that. So
are they don't even look at your prices?
Yeah, everything's in the contract, and I promise you it goes over everything, like the gallery, you know, how long it takes me to edit, stuff like that, you know. And sometimes, you know, we do have clients that come off a little aggressive to us, and it's hard to keep our composure because, you know, we're professionals at the end of the day. So I think that's another thing that's really hard is keeping your composure because people seem to forget that us photographers are human too. Like, we have feelings, we have lives outside our job. Like, we don't just do this for fun.
Exactly.
Like,
this is
a living. This is not a hobby. Like, this is my life, honestly. Like, so it's kind of hard when I do have people kind of come at me sideways and don't think, you know, I feel some type of way or I might say anything back. Yeah. I won't say anything, you know, hurtful back, but I just want to get you to understand, you know, like, I'm sorry, but like, did you read the contract? Like, it says this, and that. And, you know, some people just don't care. Like,
exactly. Or so don't even read the fine print.
Exactly. So now, I do require my clients to read a digital copy and a hard copy and sign it before we take pictures now.
Yeah.
Just so we can kind of like go over everything better. But that's probably like the most difficult thing about my job so far. Everything else has pretty become easy peasy as the years go by. Just trying to figure it out, you know, with other photographers as mentors and stuff like that. Everything else is pretty much easy by now. Yeah. But definitely clients. Yeah. I love you guys at the end of the day. I promise I do.
Yeah, during Christmas time, I had a girl that booked with me, and she had sent her deposit and everything, and it was with my Christmas minis. And I will take full responsibility because it was like on my end because I put, you know, 60, but I didn't include the deposit. And so the girl, because I don't know, I feel like in the like when I made the thing, I was like, okay, I don't know, I just didn't think to include it. Like, I thought that people would read my website and be like, oh, there's a $40 deposit, you know, on top of your final total. Yeah. And then the girl, like, we went through everything. And like, I had booked like 2 sessions, like literally like back to back. Yeah. And literally an hour before I was about to go to my first session, I had one girl, she hit me up and she was like, so how much is it again? Because she had already sent me her $40 deposit. Yeah. And I was like, it's going to be, you know, $100 after, or not 100, it's going to be $60 after. She was like, oh, so it wasn't gonna be $20. Girl, you think I'm gonna do 30 minutes for $20? And then I was like, yeah, no, this is how it blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then so the first one, she was really nice about it, but then the girl that that was right after, I told her and I kind of explained it to her, and I was like, I was nice about it. I was like, hey, like, there's been some mix up. Like, I'm completely, like, I'm sorry. Girl took it upon herself to literally, like, take screenshots of, like, my stuff, send it back to me, be like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, this is false advertisement. And I'm like, but then I sent her my website, and I'm like, no, like, it's literally in my website. Like, it's all in, like, my policies and stuff, and like even in my booking packages. Yeah. And she basically told me, she was like, fuck you, and I'm never booking with you again. I said, and then she canceled on me.
Those are nice words, guys.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, like I tell other people, like, us photographers, we're still human. We still make mistakes, whether it's regarding, you know, booking processes or, you know, editing. But, you know, just communicate with me. Like, if I do make a mistake, I'm sorry, but you don't have to go off with me like that.
Or clarify when we're booking. Like, you shouldn't wait until last minute to be like. My clients will
text days before to make sure. Yeah. Like, they make sure they got the money in their pocket. So I do appreciate that, or I send notifications out just saying, like, hey, this is your remaining balance in 3 days, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, I tell people all the time, it's hard.
It is. It's just honestly just hard in general. Like, I had a customer at Best Buy literally cuss me out on the phone.
Well, then, you know, working retail was always my best job. I'm not gonna lie. I miss it every day. You know, having your own business is fun and games, but nothing beats working in retail.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's, you know, at the mall or, you know, just like in one of those little stores or whatever. I honestly miss it. I used to work at Gourmet, and yeah, we used to get robbed. Oh my God. So much during the holidays.
That's how it is at Best Buy.
So much during the holidays, and we'd get yelled at, and I'm like, I'm not chasing, bro. I'm not about
Wait, they would make you guys chase them?
Yeah.
What the hell? At Best Buy, you're not allowed to, like, as soon as they, like, start going towards the door, you kind of just let them go.
They would be like, you guys need to, like, stand in front of the door or something. But we used to get back to back, like, yeah, during the holidays, like Christmas, Black Friday. Oh, they used to sweep us good.
Damn.
Sweep us good. And I used to be like, well, there goes that shirt I wanted to buy. Like, I honestly miss that. I wish they wouldn't have closed Gourmet's, though.
Yeah.
That was one of the cheapest places to go shopping.
Yeah. Yeah, retail is fun. Like, it's cool. Like, you don't go home smelling like food every day. That's my favorite thing about working retail is...
I used to miss that, like, too. I used to go home smelling like wings every day from Slim Chickens. Yeah.
That was my biggest pet peeve.
I used to love telling people that story about how y'all went with me to go quit Slim Chickens that day. I didn't quit. I mean, I quit, yes. And I took my friends with me. And then we went to the mall. I'm like, so why'd you quit? And I'm like, I don't know. They influence me so easily, y'all.
I remember that day you got into the car and it was like, should I quit today? And we were like,
I was
yes.
like, it was like, what, the day after prom? And I was like,
and we were, and whole time you went in, me and, what's your face?
Yeah.
We were sitting there and we were eating the chicken. Whole time you in the back room saying, I gotta go.
I don't even know what my excuse was that day. I was just like, I walked in the back in the kitchen, saw all the workers. They was like, oh, Mari, why aren't you in uniform? I just looked and shook my head. I'm like, now's not the time. I gotta break the big news to boss. Like, and mind you, I had to work that day too. Like, literally, that's why I was so like, y'all convinced me that easily. It was the day after prom. I woke up and I was like, man, I don't feel like going to work today. And yeah, you were like, call out. And I'm like, man, if I call out, I'm going to get a write-up. And then, yeah.
And then it led to her quitting.
Went straight to the mall, y'all. I'm like, then I had to break it to my mama that I quit my job because my friends convinced me, and I'm like, we were terrible back in high school. That was not okay. Don't always listen to your friends. Cause
sometimes I be missing being in high school. Like, real talk. Like, sometimes, especially when, like, I be seeing them bills, I'm like, can I just go back to my mama's
I look at my
house,
Snapchat
please?
memories, and I'd be like, whew, I miss those days. Which was crazy, because literally I quit that job just to go back, y'all. I went and begged for my job back after they made me quit. Some friends, and they were like, oh, you went back? Good for you. I'm like, no, y'all convinced me to quit. I could have had a whole job and a raise by now. Yeah, terrible. I miss high school, though. I honestly do remember. That's probably one of my favorite memories in high school, because, yeah, I'm telling you, we went straight to the mall right after I quit, too, and I'm like, my friends could jump off a building. I probably did too.
Okay. What motivates you to create, and where do you get your inspiration from?
What motivates me? I would honestly say, that's a hard one. Everything. I mean, from my daughter, from my boyfriend, from seeing, other photographers who kind of look up to me, that motivates me every day, because it lets me know I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
It lets me know what I do my best at. Honestly, like, it feels good to be recognized for something that, especially work you think is trash. Like, oh my God, I hate this picture. And then, another photographer comes up to you. Oh yeah, that photo shoot you just did was fire, Mari. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that picture was crazy ugly. I hated the edits, but conversations like that really motivate me a lot to kind of, keep going, keep pushing. Or even having clients come back to me again. That's the best feeling ever. Having them refer you to people is really what feels good deep down inside. And then I get all my inspiration from, shockingly, social media. I kind of just put stuff together as I, swipe down Instagram, Facebook. That are, clients usually have the ideas picked out, and, I just put a spin on it when they come in. But I really watch a lot of, Next Top Model and stuff like that. And I kind of just go based off of, like, what they take pictures of in the show and how they model and everything. And I kind of want to do the same with my models in a way, like my brand ambassadors and stuff like that. So my brand ambassadors are definitely my inspiration. They, they keep me on my toes 24/7, sending me ideas and, stuff like that. So shout out to my brand ambassadors. But definitely social media. I follow a lot of great photographers from all around the world. So it's nice seeing, like, what their area of photography is, and, seeing how, like, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I want to recreate that, and, still give them props at the end of the day. I know, like, I did a pool table photo shoot with Hope, and her name is Allie J Photography on Instagram, I think. Or it may just be Allie. I'm sorry, Allie. I promise I know your name. She did a pool table, and I kind of got inspired by that. So me and Hope redid it, and in the caption, I gave Allie her props for it. So, just anything I see, I try to put a little, Coop spin on it, kind of giving it that editorial look. So definitely social media.
Yeah, because social media is, like, really where content creators and artists can really thrive. Like,
crazy. I've had tons and tons of just a lot of content creators, like, blow up this year just off of, like, watching my Snapchat. All I see now is, like, like, people who are getting YouTube channels and stuff, together. And, I know a friend that's getting a podcast together as well. So, I think this is the year for content creators. This is the year to take advantage and get, actually do it. I know tons of us have said, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I'm going to start photography. And then we never do it. You'll buy that camera, and then it'll sit on your desk for who knows how long. So I definitely think this is the year for us content creators to have a booming year. So
and that's what I told myself going into this year. I was like, I'm going to put out more content, and it's
Yeah.
going to be primarily more video content.
Yeah.
Cause like, you know, like I get clients here and there, but it's like kind of, it's, I don't want to say it's rare, but it's
Yeah.
like kind of happens out the blue,
Yeah.
you know, which is fine because I'm in school and that's really where my main focus is
Yeah.
at. But I told myself I'm gonna just go into 2024 and I'm going to just put out content.
Yeah.
And I had been sitting on the whole YouTube idea for about probably like 2 years. Like that, I feel like 2 years ago is when I was like, oh my God, like I feel like I could really do it.
Yeah.
And then Alejandro getting me that camera just was like, oh, this is
It's always a significant other who kind of sees more of your potential and pushes you more. And
yeah.
That would kind of boosts you to
Take you
find
to my
someone.
man
Hey.
or take you to my girl.
He already know. But that it feels good to have a partner who supports you through it all. Because, you know, some people don't get lucky and have that type of support with them. But dating has been ride or die support since we started dating. There's nothing that man will not do when it comes to me and my business. Like, he will make sure it happens and as soon as possible. There's never like a wait time or anything. So it definitely feels good to have a significant other like that.
That's like been like the best part. It's like it makes me feel like confident in a way because like you know I could put out a YouTube video and it could get no views and the whole time I'm talking about here babe let's watch my YouTube video.
I be watching y'all on Snap and y'all are hilarious, bro. From the Camp Rock, from you letting her watch like old Disney movies is pretty funny because I know Dane would never sit there and let me force him to watch High School Musical. All three, he would never let me do that.
Yeah, it was kind of random because like the whole reason why, because she doesn't really like Disney Channel like that, but like or I can't get her to sit through a Disney movie. But the whole reason why is because I don't know if you know this, but the whole time Demi was on Camp Rock, she was coked out the whole time.
There's something about them Disney stars.
And so the whole reason why we were watching is because we wanted to see how she was acting. And if you go back and watch it, she was definitely on
Camp
something.
Rock too.
Definitely on something.
The stomping part when they went to the other camp, they was getting it. Say they wasn't. Say they wasn't. Even in High School Musical, I've been listening to them 3 soundtracks for the past 2 days now in the car, just jamming. I'm like, there's something seriously wrong with me. I'm like, I know my daughter is sick of hearing like this bullshit. I'm like, we finna listen to Can I Have This Dance for the next 20 minutes in the car, girl. You finna get to know.
Old Disney used to slap. They don't be hitting no more. They don't be hitting at all.
Last night editing, I'm watching music videos of High School Musical on YouTube.
What's the one with that Troy sings Bet on It?
Oh yeah,
that's that right there.
Y'all wasn't ready for Zac Efron in the second one. He bossed up on his friends for real. Yeah,
and now Zac Efron looks a little funny.
Hey, that's still my guy though.
He's still good looking, but
I'm still stuck on the fact that he lip synced the entire first movie.
Oh yeah, he did.
And thank God for Drew because he was amazing.
Yeah,
because he had me in the car singing. What's that song? Get Your Head in the Game.
Oh yeah,
that was my jam. I'm not gonna lie. Kendall and Cameron definitely had me on High School Musical pretty sick. And thank God for Aunt Shelley for taking us to go see High School Musical 3 when it came out in theaters. Cause I know my family wasn't gonna take us, but those, I miss old Disney, especially
Now it's just like. I don't even know what it is anymore. I like that they're doing reboots though.
That are like era tours, like Big Time Rush. Oh my gosh. I had the biggest crush on them 4.
Did Alicia ever tell you that she met the Kendall from Big Time Rush?
He is from Kansas, yeah.
Yeah, she has a picture with him and everything.
I hate you, Alicia.
Okay, what has been your most influential collaboration you've done so far?
Ooh, influential collaboration. I can't even think of one. Hold on. Okay. would honestly say working with I just met a model not too long ago named Daniel. Very, very perfect at his craft when it comes to modeling. He knows what he's doing. You know, he's willing to correct his mistakes when it comes to poses and stuff. It was very much of an eye opener for me to kind of see like where I'm at as a photographer, but also when it comes to modeling my clients as well. So he was like, it was definitely an honor to work with him. Him and his team, like the stylist we worked with, she was amazing styling him with his outfits and stuff like that, and kind of still kind of trying to fit the editorial look I was kind of going for, because she had seen my work before. So it was honestly an honor to work with them. I love them deeply. I can't wait for our pictures to come out. But yeah, it definitely taught me a lot when it comes to myself and my work. So yeah, I would definitely say Daniel and his team for sure.
Okay. Okay. This is a question. It's kind of the same question, but it's something different. What has been your favorite photograph that you've taken and why?
My favorite photograph. There's like my top two. Will honestly be if you've ever seen me work with Katie. There is a screaming pose she has on her hands, and her elbows are out, and the backdrop is blue. Probably one of my top, favorite images I've ever taken, because I wasn't even thinking I was capable of doing an edit like that. And that was like me and Katie's like second time working together. So it was really nice for us to like collab on something like that and create that. And I don't think she was ready for that edit either. So definitely that photo. And honestly, any of my club photos. I don't play about club photos. So if you catch me at Onyx or Rock Island or anything, I can't think of one bad photo I have at the club, honestly.
Yeah, you be killing them club photos.
Hey, it takes a lot of confidence and,
you doing your thing or whatever.
Effort, because, club photos are not easy to get between everybody bumping into you. Some people are drunk, very much intoxicated. It's hard to, like, try not to get your camera wet and drop your camera all night, seeing, like, familiar faces, and they kind of distract you from your work.
Yeah.
But every party I've done so far, I've had at least over 1,000 images I've taken. So I couldn't even tell you which ones was my best, because they literally get so much exposure and so much attention. Just any event photography you see me post those are definitely my favorite if you see them posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think out of those ones, I think my favorite one that you've done, I don't think there's a specific one, but like the Halloween photos. I feel like the Halloween photos, they definitely smack
those
every
definitely went
year.
crazy. I would say either Halloween or Hits' Barbie event. I got so many. I think I really just said F the fellas that night, kind of, because I really just wanted to focus on my girls that were wearing pink and, went crazy for the theme. So it was really nice capturing that. And usually I don't really capture a lot of people, like, in the moment. I try and get as many, people come up to me in the club and ask me for pictures. So it was nice at the Barbie event, because I got, like, girls dancing on the dance floor and throwing money. And I'm like, oh, this is the perfect shot.
Yeah.
Like, so definitely either the Barbie event or I would say Battered in the Beach. I got some really good photos that night. So, or hell, even the throwback
one. The throwback one was hella good.
Everybody went crazy that night.
That night, that was the
Toby's outfit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, went crazy. I think me and Toby had a whole photo shoot in the club that night. That's how bad, like, that's how good the photos were.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, everybody slayed.
Hey, you can't beat that velvet sweatsuit. I can't wait to give me one.
Okay. In the last 2 years, you've had many successes. Which out of all of them has been the most rewarding, and why?
That's a difficult one too. I would say definitely get in the studio this year. It was an eye opener for me,
Mm-hmm.
trying to tell myself I was ready. Um, and that and telling myself I needed to step out my comfort zone. I've been working in Share Studio since I've been back, so I've been really scared and trying to tell myself like, I'm not ready. I'm not financially ready.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have a baby. We have bills to take care of at home. I can't do it. Like, and I kept telling myself like, even trying to convince myself to the point like, you're not ready. Like,
Mm-hmm.
stop telling yourself you are ready. You're not. Like, this is just like your heart talking and not your mind. You're not thinking logically. And after sitting down with like people who really care about me and
Mm-hmm.
support me, everyone was for the studio. Everyone was like, take the leap of faith,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I did. I took the leap of faith, and we opened our own studio this year, and I couldn't be more happier with my business right now. It's very um, emotional for me because I would have never guessed
Mm-hmm.
or anything to see myself this far in
Yeah.
such little time. So definitely the studio. I can't even imagine where we'll be at in a couple of years when it comes to
Yeah.
business. So yeah.
Yeah. So I actually do have a question on here. Where do you see your business in 5 years?
Uh, Crazy. I got asked that today. Um, Hopefully not here. I
Yeah,
love
not in
Wichita,
Wichita.
but there's only so much growing you can do here to the
Mm-hmm.
point there's no there's no more room for it. So
Yeah.
I really hope to see myself in a bigger city. I've been looking at, some other like photography, like, very photography popular cities and states
Mm-hmm.
to go to and whatnot, what could be beneficial for me and my family at the same time. So, hopefully not here. Definitely
Yeah.
for sure. I would love to be a traveling photographer.
Yeah.
I would love to, go to New York and do a photo shoot or two there, and then the next week travel to LA or something for
Mm-hmm.
you know a modeling agency or something like that. So definitely that, or even working for, I know it's very, sometimes not likely, but working for a magazine company would be fire. Like, I'm in
Yeah.
love with Vogue magazine, like Vogue and Essence. I follow them on Instagram, and I absolutely love their photographers' work.
Mm.
And I follow like each photographer they share work of every week. So to to take a good picture to have posted on a magazine cover, I think
Mm-hmm.
it's, you know, you did it. Like that. That's
Yeah.
what it seems like to me. But definitely, I hope to be there in a couple years.
Yeah. And you will. You will.
Hey,
You just got to keep, you know, just doing it.
building and connecting. It's all about connections. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't be afraid to text that photographer, that model, just anything. Like,
Yeah.
everyone will text back in due time, but you just have to be patient
Yeah.
with it. Cause
Well, I mean, it depends on the person.
yeah,
Depends on the
yeah,
purpose, on
depends
the
on the
person.
person, but in due
As
time.
in
But
Wichita.
yeah, people in Wichita are, a little, they might gatekeep from you, but just keep trying and trying.
Yeah.
You'll get there eventually. It took some moments for me to get to where I am, because I know, I was looking for someone to mentor me when I first started photography, and I couldn't find anybody. So I kind of just learned on my own, watching YouTube videos, following other photographers on Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that. So
Hmm.
definitely connect.
Yes.
So
Networking is key. Okay, so what has been the most challenging obstacle for you as an artist and how did you overcome it?
okay, I had to rethink this question because honestly, I don't think anybody understands the frustration level editing, but with a baby. That has been the biggest obstacle in my entire life. Trying to balance out family and work, especially when I have to bring work home with me, um, has definitely become the biggest obstacle um, for the past year now with
Hmm.
her. Trying to make sure I spend enough time with my child and also make sure I still put my business first is really difficult because she's growing every day. She's learning every day.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make sure I'm putting my business before her. So that's probably one of the, the biggest obstacles I'm not going through anymore. I've learned to separate the two, but it was definitely one I had to work on because,
Yeah.
once she started crawling, I'm like, okay, this is real life. Like, I'm a parent now. Like, I can't miss out on things like this. I don't want to miss out on things like this because of work. So, sometimes I do have to take, a week or two off throughout the month just to spend with her. I don't want her to ever feel like and grow up that, mama only cares about photography. Her life revolves around it. So, I really worked on that my last break I took last month. So now I take a break out of each month to spend with my child, and I try to make sure I'm home at a reasonable time now, just so, I can put her to bed, take her a bath, stuff like that. But, some people who don't understand, how hard it is being a parent, but also running a business and then being so young too, it's not as easy, as we make it look. With help we have and stuff like that, we try to make it look easy, but it's probably one of the hardest 2 jobs I've ever had to work. I can't just, take off my, cloth for the day and hang up being a mommy. Like, I can put my camera down and stop being a photographer for a couple hours and, but I can't take my badge off for being a mom. So it's hard, but it's worth it though. So any obstacle, mom or photographer wise, I'll always choose a mom obstacle for sure now. So definitely being a parent and trying to balance everything. So it's fairly new to me, and I'm learning every day. But you learn as you go, as the child gets older, stuff like that. So yeah.
Okay. So last 2 questions for the business category. You recently opened up your own studio. How has that been going for you, and what things can we expect to see in the upcoming future?
Oh, it's been stressful. It's not. It's fun. It's fun putting it together and, putting in pieces in your studio that what makes you as an artist. So, everybody knows that I love backdrops. I could never work on a cloth backdrop. It's just not me, So it's been fun ordering all these color backdrops, knowing that, who knows when I'll probably use this color or this color. But, just to have it on deck feels great, to actually have something to call my own. But stressful for sure, trying to get this all taken care of while still putting clients in the studio and it's not done, and I have to be like, oh, don't mind the mess, like I'm still putting this stuff together, but I know it'll all come together, eventually. So I'm not even tripping about it. But tons and tons of stuff coming soon. Like, I plan on doing a meet and greet for my content creators. My videographers and photographers and my models. I'll have an event for all 3 of them here soon. Kind of just meeting up with everyone who works in that area, kind of connecting with one another, trying to get, especially with my models, because, some models are scared to reach out to certain photographers and videographers. So, this is your time to connect, talk amongst yourself and what like that. So I have tons coming up for all my content creators. I really want to do more, just like walking stuff, planned out stuff for, my followers and stuff can, actually come to and do stuff more of. So tons. My plan out for this year is pretty crazy. What we have like laid out just for in the studio and actually just like placed in just the parking lot. Like, it's kind of crazy. So I can't wait to release everything. So
and that's really good that you're planning to do something where it can like kind of bring everybody together, because kind of to go back to what we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
I feel like not a lot of people in Wichita know really what collaboration is.
Yeah.
And which really sucks because, you know, while Wichita is advancing and it's becoming this, you know, this big thing,
Yeah.
I just feel like not a lot of people, coming from it being such a small city, not a lot of people know how to like share the spotlight.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe I'm wrong, but that's just what I hear.
Yeah.
And like, I've never personally had like a interaction with anyone, but that's just what I hear. And I think that's really good that you're bringing people together, because I feel like there needs to be a lot more of that here, whether it's you're in photography or you're a hairstylist or you're a lash girl, or, you know, it's just really just realizing like it's, yes, at the end of the day, if somebody is, you know, getting more clients than you are, then okay, yeah, that's taking obviously money out of your pocket, but at the same time, like you should be clapping for that other person.
Is what I'm saying.
And not a lot of people here can do that.
Yeah, it will crush your spirit for sure. You'll see people you support 24/7, and then you don't get that reciprocated. But you know, but you know, I learned the hard way, and I had to, you know, brush it off my shoulders, because you know, dating was very big on, you know, don't keep clapping for them. Like, they not showing you any love at the end of the day. No matter how much love you put in, and you're still not getting that back. He was like, you know, it's okay for you to stop. You know, if you want to keep doing it, then keep doing it. He's like, but don't feel ashamed if you stop showing that person love. And, you know, I try and clap for, you know, as many photographers and videographers and models as I can. But, you know, it's hard when you do hear some stuff about you. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of just...
Yeah. I mean,
my models, my clients, they know who I am deeply. We all connect on a deeper level when they come in for photos. So, you know, my work and my character says more than somebody else's word. So it does suck, because, you know, you don't think you're in competition with anybody. And then you'll hear from somebody like, oh, I heard so-and-so say, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I've never met them before. So it's a little difficult, I will say, but... You know, it's just more of, you know, just coming together as a, you know, content creator community, and kind of, you know, shutting those type of stuff down. Like, instead of doing that with each other, we might as well just, you know, work together, collab, you know, stuff like that. And I try to do a lot of, you know, collabs with, you know, videographers and photographers a lot, especially like videographers, because I'm in the wedding, you know, area now. So if my videographer isn't available, you know, I'm always willing to, you know, like, see who is available, you know, text and be like, hey, you know, do you have a wedding portfolio you could show me or something? You know, something like that. But, or even like, you know, studio stuff. I don't mind sharing my brand ambassadors and stuff like that, you know, as long as we still make them feel comfortable posing regardless. Like, my brand ambassadors' needs and wants are always come first. I would never make them do anything they're uncomfortable with, or anything they don't want me to post. So, but it's hard in Wichita. It is a competitive city we are in, and you would never know. Like,
exactly.
But you just gotta keep working. You gotta ignore it.
Exactly.
That's what makes you better.
Keep pushing. Because, you know, like, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too much, but, you know, sometimes you just got to tell yourself, I got bigger dreams. Yeah. You know, I want to do more. Like, this ain't, you know.
You never wish the worst on anybody. You can only wish them the best. And
exactly.
I always tell people, I always wish the best for anybody who thinks of me in a hateful way as a content creator. You know, I don't wish anything bad upon you or anything like with your clientele rate or anything. But, you know, it's a competitive city for sure. They will. It's hard, because I didn't know photographers and videographers were this huge in Wichita until I started. Yeah. And probably like upcoming on my 3rd year now, I've never realized how big it was until now. Yeah. Like, it's huge, especially like
there's somebody new every day almost. It feels like
on Instagram. You search up photographer on Instagram, so many accounts pop up, like Kansas photographer, Wichita photographer, and it's like, geez, like, but it's anywhere you go. Honestly, like, I can only imagine what it's like in LA or you know, New York and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the competition is like.
But that's also like the thing. Like I don't really think that there is a competition down there because it's such a big community and everybody's an artist down there. Like a lot of people move to LA, they move to Atlanta so that they can make a name for themselves. But I feel like more people are more willing to give out handouts and accept them. You know, like I mean, I've only worked in Atlanta like one time.
Yeah.
And just the whole time, like, it was just like these people, it's like a whole team. It's a whole production. It's like you got a makeup artist, you got the girl doing the hair, you got the photographer, you got the videographer. Like it's a whole thing.
And those collabs are great. You could find tons of makeup artists and nail artists who would be, you know, absolutely 100% down to collab. Like I've done so many trade services over the past 2 months now, just off of like nail artists and, you know, like eyelash checks, and I don't even get those things done. Like I don't even it doesn't feel important to me to get my nails done, but hey, you know, a little pamper time for me, I would surely take it, you know. But it's really just connecting, you know, trying to get to know one another as well. You can't just, you know, think you know me based off my work and everything.
Exactly, or what you hear.
I could be completely the opposite. So it's really hard, you know. I really can't wait to see what, you know, the other, you know, content creator life is like outside of Kansas, because I can only imagine it's way more like better, I will say, better and bigger in like your big cities.
And you meet so many different people from so many different races
and
stuff like that are all just, they share this one love for art, and it's just like, yes.
I follow tons but I follow a lot of photographers from like Atlanta and California and definitely in Texas. But those are like my main three. And like the more I follow them, the more I see like collabs with other photographers, videographers, and like, you know, makeup artists and stuff.
It's a whole production.
And I'm like, man, I can't wait to get there. Like to be able to, you know, have my own makeup artist and, you know, my own lash tech and stuff who could come and get my, you know, my models ready for stuff like that. I would have a heart attack just to even have that type of control to plan something out like that. Because like that's another thing about Wichita, everybody's not on the same time. You could plan out, and something's still gonna come up. So it's really hard trying to make plans and, you know, here in Wichita, because I've learned the hard way. Like it will take time, but literally in due time it will happen. So I wouldn't stop with the connections and trying to work with many people. It'll happen.
Definitely keep making connections regardless of how certain people want to act. You know, because at the end of the day, like, you know, like collaboration is really everything. Networking is everything.
It brings you a lot of attention. It brings you more clientele for sure. Like there's a few models who have brought in majority of my followers, and I appreciate them every day. And it'd be like followers that's not even here, based in Kansas. So that's like the good part. So I appreciate it every day when I collab with other models. And even people who don't even have like a big following base, you'd be shocked with the work you can create with them and how much exposure it'll get. So definitely connect, like I said. And literally does not matter who it is, as long as you guys make good work together. I mean, that's all that matters. So
okay, last question, and then I'll get into the last two categories.
Okay.
Do you have any advice for people who are wanting to start a photography business or business in general?
Take that leap of faith. Doesn't matter how much money you have, honestly. It'll work out. When I got my first camera, I didn't even have a lick of money. I think I texted my family group chat and was like, "Hey, I see this camera on Facebook for $500. You know, anybody trying to help me out?" And my family literally came together and pitched in $500 for me on like that. Like I'm driving to Wichita to move back home, And I text the dude off of Facebook Market, and I'm like, hey, I want to pick up this camera. And he's like, great, we can meet like in an hour or two. I'm like, oh, great. Don't know why I sent the message because I didn't have the money. And, but surely enough, my family came through and they helped me. And so shout out to my family. I know when you guys see this, you guys are going to think this is so corny. But, but that really helped a lot. Take the leap of faith, because it took me a lot after I got that camera to actually go ahead and be like, all right, let's start a business. I got the camera, I got the basics. And I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I don't even know what I'm doing with this camera yet. Like, I know what I'm doing with the basics of stuff, because I had just got done shooting like sports photography.
Yeah.
So I was moving from like sports all the way to studio stuff. And I'm like, I don't know, that much yet, but I could try. But, definitely take that leap of faith. You'll love it. You'll become very appreciative of it.
Yeah.
And you'll see how far you've come and years after. It's a good feeling to see where you really started compared to where you are in a couple years later. So take the leap of faith, collab, connect. That is still, have fun in the process, because there's some days where I'll think like my job is not fun. Like, it's stressful. It really is. But I'm deep down, I have to keep telling myself, like, you love photography. Like, what makes you love and have fun with your job? So having those funny sessions that come in make my job worth it. I love the editing process of those as well, even more. So, but I think I couldn't even know. It's so much about photography I could tell people to do and starting a business, but if you don't have a plan, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. It honestly will be perfectly fine if you just pick up a camera and you're like, all right, I think I'm going to start a business today. And it's like, okay, what's the next step? Just as long as you know what your next step is, don't think about the next 5 steps or 10 steps. Just think about just that next step. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters, honestly. Like,
yeah, even if you plan on doing like a YouTube channel, like you could there is one YouTube couple, they're probably the most toxic YouTube couple ever.
You talking about the one girl?
Yes.
That was in the wedding dress?
Yes, and like
she's delusional.
Got the tattoos all over her and shit like that. But when they started, I could tell that they recorded off their phone. And they used iMovie because I recognize the text. So they did that, and they just recorded. Yes, half of their stuff in the beginning was staged, but they did it. And now they got like hundreds and thousands of followers, and they just were consistent. And so it's like you could literally use your phone out of your pocket and just start recording. You could literally upload one clip uncut, and you're posting it, Just do it.
That's a really good thing about technology today. You might not have the equipment like that you want, but you'd be shocked what you can get with a phone and still use it. Because, I can't use my phone now because my camera's cracked. But if there was a time I ever left my camera at home, I would definitely pull out my phone and take pictures.
Yeah.
Like, I think I've gotten to the point where I can, adjust my lights and pose you correctly, where we can still get some good shots. I promise you, but start small.
Yeah.
Start somewhere and just go with it. Don't double think about it. Nothing. Don't take a step back.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Like, you have the most unlimited support, and you probably won't even know until you take that step. So it feels really good.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that they push at Shocker Studios is collaborating and talking to your peers and all that stuff. And now that I am a senior this year, part of me wishes that, cause like, I don't know, I feel like I'm always like in the back, not because I want to, but because like I just walk in and I just like, I'm going to go sit all straight back.
In the corner.
Also like a lot of it too is, I feel like also being a Black woman kind of throws me off, because I go to school with a lot of like white kids. And so like it kind of like, it doesn't really throw me off, but it's just like a lot of people are more clique based. Like they already all know each other. They came from separate schools and stuff like that.
No, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Is race nowadays.
Yeah.
It feels good in a cocky way, kind of, but in a very inspirational way when I have people come in and they're like, how does it feel being a Black woman photographer in Wichita? And I'm like, it feels great. Because, you know, I could probably name maybe 3 more for a Black woman photographer. So it's hard because, you know, people don't, I've talked to a couple photographers and, you know, they usually don't see a lot of Black people in the photography game. So it really feels great to see that, you know, you could, like, you're kind of making a different change on it a little bit. So I definitely love that. I definitely love that people are looking at it kind of like that, because it definitely says a lot.
And
with
here the amount of Black people I've seen, I can count on one hand. I'm you know, and like it just, and that kind of like plays into like why like I wish that I would have been more open to you know, collaborating with people. Wouldn't have been the person to just walk in and sit in the back of the classroom, because you know, with that comes like a lot of kids that, you know, don't really get out as much and don't really talk to a lot of people, and they'll be like, oh, like for example, practicum, they'll be like, oh, so you're going to make one big project and you have to talk to people and you have to collaborate and do all this stuff. And then you're like, okay. So then you look around and everyone's like running out the door trying to like get away from you. And you're just like, not that like, because of like, I'm not saying because of race or anything, but because a lot of the kids here, they aren't really, confident, I would say. Like a lot of kids I've noticed that they can't really, like, they're working on it. Like I've seen a lot of people that I've been going to school and they started off not even saying a word, and like they're like up here and I'm like, okay, period, do your thing. So it's just like, and so it's like, and I'm the type of person, like, if you're not raising your hand, I'm not gonna raise my hand. I mean, why I'm not gonna raise my hand. So it'd be like,
question, could be wrong. Like,
and then like this, I feel like this like last 2 years is really when I'm like, well, fuck, like I need to like really
get out there,
talk to people and like make these connections, regardless of how I feel about being the 1 out of 5 Black people here at this school, or not feeling like I can relate to a lot of the people here. Like I have to, you know, do it. I have to make connections, and I'm thankful for all the people that I have made friends with and that are willing to help me. You know, and like, and it's just like sometimes I'd be like kind of scared to ask for help almost, but you know, like you just have to just do it regardless of where you come from, what state you're in, where you're at, where the people are, what your race is. Like you just have to just do it. And I feel like that has been kind of one of like the breaking points for me in college, is just realizing like, oh, okay.
That was big in Iola. Mind you, Iola is a strict, like, primarily white town, and you have like you have a couple, you know, Black students come, but they come just for the sport and the scholarship. So it was very weird for me to go to Allen, and you know, it was typical to see, you know, every Black person that I knew do a sport, and then there was me in a fucking art class, and it was just like, and so like then I'm in class, and you know, the teacher goes, go around and tell everybody like what you're majoring in and what sport you play. I don't play a sport.
Exactly.
Like, I'm here on an art scholarship, like, and they're like, oh, really? Like, you don't play a sport? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like, so it definitely opened my eye a little bit on campus, because then I definitely had to connect more with other people. Like, more of my Black peers did not know anything about art. And it was really like an eye opener, like taking pictures for the basketball team and, you know, the track team and, you know, baseball and all that. And majority of them did not know much about, like, you know, camera settings and, you know, like colors and stuff, like, you know, basic stuff. And it was kind of just like a big, like, wow, like, which was crazy. But then it also let me connect with more of my other peers that were non-Black. And it was a big change for me, because one of my favorite professors, her name was Tara, and oh my gosh, she was the sweetest, white lady that whoever took good care of me on campus, like made sure I came to class, or when I broke my fucking ankle,
Yeah.
I still went to class with a boot on, and she was pissed, like why are you here? And I'm like, I'm here for class, and she's like, you need to go be in bed, like right now. So it when you go to school, it definitely opens your eye a little bit on like what you want to do, but it also opens your eye on who to connect with more. Because growing up, I've always felt only more comfortable around other Black people. So now that I'm a photographer, I've had to expand that out and be comfortable around whoever. So college was definitely an eye opener for me when it came to art. Especially taking like all art classes, because I think it was the only girl in there, especially a Black girl in there, that only took design. It was an all male class, and I'm like, well, what the hell am I doing here? Like, I don't know anything about building a inflatable and stuff like that. I'm like, I guess, and like, it felt weird because all of my male peers were like succeeding so fast and easily with this one project, and I was like, I'm still on my sketch, like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So then I had the opportunity to connect with the boys on a deeper level and kind of help me out. So I will say college is definitely like an eye opener, or just like any group you're a part of, honestly, whether it's school related or not school related. Working with photographers like have definitely opened my eye from working from the selfie spot with Ashley, and at the photographer's loft, and working at Signature Studios with Andrew. They are like my inspirations at this point. I love them both. I love how they run their businesses and stuff like that, and I can't wait to run a business just like them, working with them for so long. So definitely, I would say definitely step out your comfort zone and don't be that person who sits in the back of the classroom, because I surely was. And I was so scared when I first started working in the shared studios. I never wanted to call. Never wanted to call them and like snitch on myself about like if I broke something or whatnot, because I didn't want them to be like, typical Black girl breaking stuff. And I'm like, like I don't want to do it. But oh my God, they are the sweetest people ever. Like, they're so understanding. And Ashley was like the best mentor ever when it came to running a business, a photography business. You have, 5 kids and an amazing marriage, and you run, 3 successful studios in your own business on top of that. I'm like, I loved working for that woman. I'm like, and she's such an inspiration today, like still running that on top of the studios as well. I'm like, I can never. I'm like, I can never. She's definitely an inspiration of mine. I love Ashley to death.
She be doing her thing. I'm like, period. And she be staying up to date with the selfie spot.
Hey,
like,
I can
period,
never.
Ashley.
All those booths. Ashley, you're a strong woman, because I would have been I would have been like,
literally,
we're hiring a team to
literally
come do
we'll
this.
take it all down and have it up, ready to go the next day. Talk about y'all ready for Valentine's Day?
That's why I'm keeping my
Christmas?
Valentine's Day stuff up right now. I don't plan on taking none of my Valentine's Day stuff until the end of February.
Yeah,
because I'm like, well, shit, we just put it up. I don't know who taking all that down now. Like, it's staying up for a minute. Props to Ashley and her husband, because me and Dave both got bad attitudes. I don't know how we gonna last as business partners, but I'm staying strong, Dave. So let's hope for the best.
Okay. So how has motherhood been for you since you started? You said that your routine has changed. Has anything else kind of changed?
Routine and it's really just time management. That recently I've been taking her to sessions with me to kind of get her used to seeing me at work kind of a little bit. Just to get her comfortable with being at the studio as well, because I know that will be like our second home. Like, we'll always be there for something. So definitely routine wise, because I know her and Dayton hate being up there all night with me, and I'm just like, we got to get this done, but I know we got to leave at a certain time to put her to bed. So it's hard. No one teaches you how to be a good parent, and there's no there's not a rubric or anything to help you with that. So you learn as you go
Yeah.
along, and you look at your parents and you're like, I don't know how you did this back
Mm-hmm.
then. Like, I look at my mom and I'm like, there's no way in hell you did 5 of us.
Yeah.
Like, as a teacher, and especially with her being a principal now, we're still all grown, but we still need our mom at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
I've gotten to the point, I want to make sure I'm very present
Mm-hmm.
and always make sure she knows I got her regardless. So, time management, stuff like that, making sure I just don't put stuff before her or
Yeah.
dating. So, just little stuff like that. But other than that, it's been a great change though. It's made me open my eye as a mom and a
Mm-hmm.
business owner, and just as an individual kinds. I see like other parents struggle, just like a single parent struggle, and I'm like, I couldn't do it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad I have such a great support system as a business owner,
Mm-hmm.
because there's some days dating works third shift and it's just me and the baby, and I have
Mm-hmm.
to go grocery shopping, and I'm like, what the fuck did I sign myself up for? And I'm like carrying a car seat and then my camera bag and then like 6 bags of groceries because I don't want to take 2 trips, and it's like, it's hard. It gets frustrating. You want to cry some nights.
Mm-hmm.
There's nights where I don't want to go to work.
Yeah.
I'd rather lay in bed and be lazy with my kid, but I can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
I still have to put a roof over her head and, help out with the bills and stuff. And so it's hard, I will say. There's
Mm-hmm.
some days I do want to give up, honestly. And, clients don't hear that from me a lot because, they see me working 24/7. But there are some days there I'm just staring at the wall and I'm like, man, what if I just quit? I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore. It's stressful. It's
Mm-hmm.
very time consuming, but you know, I do it for my daughter. I do it for my clients and my creativity. So
Period.
it's very inspirational. So
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that just comes with with being an artist just in general.
yeah,
Because there's been so many times as a photographer, I've been like, what if I just stopped doing that? Or
it's
as a
like
videographer, I'm like, what if I just didn't edit this? Like, what if it just sat there and I just
it gets
never
like
did it?
that, especially with having a brand new baby after coming back from work. My postpartum was kind of like unexpected,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't want to go to work. I
Yeah.
tried so many or thought of so many options of how I cannot go back to doing photography. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I could tell people this, I could tell people that, and I'm like, well, I just don't want to do it. Maybe I could just tell them straight up, like, I hate photography now. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way I want to do it. And me and Dayton have had countless of conversations of him just telling me like, you want to go back, and I'm like, I don't. I'm like, I was like, I don't like it. It's time. Like, the editing takes too long, and
Mm-hmm.
being back on my feet, I'm like, my feet hurt 24/7. My back hurts 24/7
Yeah.
from bending down and stuff like that. And it was honestly one of the worst moments in my entire like of my 3 years of being a photographer,
Mm-hmm.
was going through that postpartum depression, and the only thing I could think about was work.
Yeah.
Like, if I do this, I'm gonna disappoint so many clients, and my brand ambassadors are gonna be so sad. And I'm like, I was like, I promised everybody so much from my business and my work. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, and I know I was possible of doing it. It was just, the emotions and,
Mm-hmm.
motherhood talking to me. And I'm just like, I'm like, we'll get out of it, sooner or later. So I didn't take the time to even talk to anybody else about it. Like, I just kept it between me and Dayton and kind of just kept it pushing. But he did a phenomenal job talking me back into photography and talking about, hey, you should contact so and so about a photo shoot. And I'm like, no. And then literally, like, maybe want to say a month after having an embryo, that's when I took that car wash photo shoot with Katie.
Mm-hmm.
And it brought me back, like,
Yeah.
immediately. We posted those photos, and the amount of love and like excitement I got, like bookings I got from that one post,
Mm-hmm.
made me understand why I fell in love with photography again. So, it definitely brings the joys out of everything when you're
Mm-hmm.
down, for sure. So I definitely love it to death.
Yeah. Um. Do you think you would have any more kids?
No. I don't know. Maybe like one more, but not anytime soon. I love Embryo to death, but whew, the days she don't go to bed and I have tons of pictures to edit and or even on my days off and I'm just tired, I'm just like, please just lay down. I don't want to watch Miss Rachel again. And I'm like, one is good for now, but maybe in a couple years y'all might see me with another one.
Yeah.
But this was not the plan, y'all. I was not supposed to be the first friend to have a kid for the, friend group. So it's kind of unexpected, but I love her to death.
I'm kind of happy that you did, though, because, I'm like, took one for the team.
I'm like, I remember when I told everybody, and everybody was like,
I was so surprised. You sent me that picture, and I must have responded so quick. I said, "Oh my God!"
Nobody's reaction was more funnier than Dayton's because I didn't want to be affectionate at all during that moment because I was like so shocked, and I think I just dropped the pregnancy test on top of him when he was asleep on the couch, and I was like, "Wake up!" And he woke up, and I was like, "Look at that." And then it was a positive pregnancy test, and he was like, "Oh my God, for real!" He's like so excited, and he's like, "Come here, hug me," and I'm like, "I don't want to hug you, bro." I was so like, I wasn't pissed. I was just so shocked because there was obvious signs that I was pregnant, and I just kept ignoring them. I'm like,
yeah,
nah. I'm like, there's no way I'm pregnant. I'm like, I'm too busy for that. I'm like working at the club every holiday. I'm like, no. But no one's reaction was probably more funny than my mom's because she knew, because she had a dream about it. And every black mom has their superstitions about, oh, I had a dream and I smelled cinnamon in my sleep. I'm like, be for real. Why didn't you tell me this? So literally as soon as we took like the third test, I looked at Dane and I was like, we need to go tell my mom. And he was like, today? And I was like, yeah. So I literally like, I'm calling her. She calls me. I'm like, she's like, where are you at? And I'm like, at Chipotle. Oh, would you call me for? I was like, you want anything from Chipotle, actually? She's like, well, yeah. Grab me this, and I'm like, all right, we on the way. And Dayton was like, are you about to feed her before you tell her the news? I said, yeah. So we were over there for 5 hours, and I still hadn't told her yet. I waited until she was done eating. She maybe had a couple like drinks of wine, and I just looked at her when she was on her last cup, and I was like, I got something to tell you. And she was like, oh, shit. She's like, you're pregnant, aren't you? And I was like, yeah. She's like, no, you're not. You don't even have the pregnancy test. I pulled all 3 tests out on the table and just smacked them down. She's like, Mari, grab me another drink out the refrigerator. And I was like, oh. I was like, girl, But it was so funny. Like, her reaction was probably, like, the most funniest thing. But I was so happy. She was so happy for me. Because I don't know, like, what I was so scared for it. All my other siblings got kids. So I was like, I'm the last one. Everybody kind of expected it. But I was so glad, like, my family was so happy for me. Because I thought I was going to be, like, a family disappointment or something with business and everything. And I'm like, oh, and they just love her to death now. So shout out to my family because I told my brothers on Thanksgiving. And I was like, I was shitting bricks. Everybody knows I'm scared of Gary. So I was like, my mom was like, all right, Gary's on his way. And I'm like, I don't want to tell him. I'm like, please, let me just tell him over text message. And she's like, no, you're going to tell him in face to face. And I'm like, I'm looking at Dane. I'm like, I'm so scared. And he was like, that is not your dad. That's your brother. I said, I know. I'm like, but he acts like my dad. I was like, so literally when I told Gary, he wasn't shocked either. He was like, I figured because of the statuses Dayton been sharing on Facebook. I'm like, everybody need to take Dayton off Facebook right now. Oh my gosh, he's so inappropriate and just so immature with it. Yeah. But I can't say nothing. I'm the same way. So if you know the real me.
Yeah.
If you know the real me with that photo. So, but yeah, I know I wouldn't do another child. That whole process of telling my family would have me sweating crazy. So I love my little one baby and I love my fur animals for sure. So
what do you think is the most rewarding part about being a mom?
Coming home. and your baby so happy to see you. Like, that's like the best feeling ever. Like, today I came home on my break and she's like just in her diaper, just woke up. And she's like smiling ear to ear with her pacifier in her mouth. And I'm like, that's like the best feeling ever. Like coming home and you feel like you just had the most shittiest day. And you are like goddamn Candyland to your goddamn baby.
Yeah.
So it's a really good feeling. That just having a bad day and just waking up to your child is the most rewarding thing ever.
And she has such a pretty smile.
She could be so bad, and then as soon as she smiled, I'd be like, well, all right, I guess you can have another sucker. Like, she sleeps in her own room now, so that's probably like the one thing I really do look forward to, like waking up in the morning.
Yeah,
is walking into her room and she's already up and she's looking at the door already and she's just smiling ear from ear. So that's probably one of the most rewarding things as a mom. I appreciate those moments as much as possible. So
yeah. Okay, last couple of questions, and these ones are gonna be with current events, and I did switch up the questions.
Okay.
Have you seen Drake's leaked video on the internet?
Y'all gonna get me in trouble. My baby daddy told me I shouldn't be looking at that. I wasn't looking, Dayton. I promise. I wasn't looking. It just popped up on my timeline. I was like, oh, swiped. I didn't. But I made a peek or two. But yeah. I can't.
To be honest, I'm very, like, I don't know how to feel about it because I feel like the way he was playing with that, he looked a little fruity to me.
Hey.
Like, and then all the memes that are coming out, like.
He was hiding his meat from the world.
He was.
He's so unserious, though. Why would you get that leaked and then that was the first thing you posted? He's hilarious. At the end of the day, he has a great sense of humor.
He does. And then he addressed it at a concert talking about, I broke the internet.
Nothing was more funny than seeing everybody talk about it on Facebook. I don't care what anybody says. You might not be a Facebook comedian or person, but Facebook is like my happy place. Like, if something's trending on like Twitter or something, I go straight to Facebook just to see everybody's reaction because it's hilarious. But yet, literally, like the night it leaked, Dayton texted me while he was in the bathroom, and he was like, "Oh my mama, you better not be looking up Drake's." And I was like, then I woke up the next morning and I looked at it and I'm like, "Oh, he's crazy." And then I was like, well, I might have took a peek or two. It was just there on my timeline. I promise you, Dayton. I wasn't just like searching for it like everybody else on Facebook, but
like that one TikTok I posted. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was like, you know, that one audio that's like, I'm legally blind. I did that one, and she's like, I don't know nothing but except for what the police told me, and they're like, you can't see. I'm like, yeah, I'm legally blind. I can see barely.
I knew I was caught up when he texted me that. I'm like, what are you talking about? But I had been retweeting stuff on TikTok all day about it, so it was hilarious that he seen it that night when he was getting in the shower, and that was the first thing he texted me. Yeah. And I was like, he's so annoying, bro. I was like, our relationship is hilarious, though.
Yeah, all I know is that Drake looked a little fruity by the way he was flipping that thing around. Like, and then everyone's in the comments talking about, oh, Drake was hiding this from us. He was hiding what?
For a reason. I'm sorry, Dayton, if you watch this. And you get to this part, just skip it.
Okay. Do you know about what's going on with Austin McBroom?
Bro, he is funny. I don't care what anybody says. Bro's a comedian. That DDG song had me in tears. Bro is hilarious. I have him on Snapchat and TikTok for the simple fact. I was like, I don't care if this is a skit or not. I'm like, it's hilarious.
Yeah, today, I don't know if you watched his Snapchat story today, but they towed his RV, and he admitted to lying about paying on that shit in cash, talking about my shit's getting repoed. I'm like, damn.
The video of him going, but I paid for it. I paid it. And people were in the comments was like, I think he paid it, y'all. Like, for real.
Out there cussing out the Toad Man and shit.
Bro,
like,
Beaters was on backwards.
exactly.
I'm like, I don't know if this is a skit or not, but it's the most hilarious thing I've ever watched. I may have not liked him before, but he's hilarious now. I don't care. And if Catherine, I'm sorry, girl, but this is funny shit for real.
My favorite one of him so far is when he was having the panic attack and he's got to put his hand right here. I'm like, is it that bad? Like, I genuinely believe that he was having a panic attack in that moment. Have you seen the
one where he tripped when he was walking outside his RV and he
fell? Yeah, and he tripped.
And he was like, fucking shoot. But the way he fell, he was like, I've been showing Dane his videos for like the past week now, and I'm like, bro, he's comedy. I can't stop singing that freaking "You Still My Ace," girl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the car singing it, looking it up on like SoundCloud and Apple. I'm like, man, please post it somewhere so I could jam to it in the car.
It's actually like, considering the situation, DDG did a really good job of like making it like flow and everything, and like I feel like it could be a hit song.
Hey, in my car we'd be listening to that and High School Musical, period, and the Jonas Brothers. Yeah, I still listen to them too. Y'all, don't judge me.
Speaking of comedy, what do you think about Laura and Norelli? Norelli is the girl with the multiple tattoos on her face, keeps dyeing her hair.
I had to stop watching her and her girl because they're crazy.
Exactly.
I don't know. She might be a little more delusional than Krishan, just a little bit, because... Yeah, I remember watching them at one point, and then literally like midway through the video, I'm like, yeah, I can't even watch this no more.
Yeah.
YouTube couples have gotten a little weird over the years.
And whatever you do, if they tell you to go to their Instagram and watch their Instagram story, do not click on that. Because because you're going to see Laura clapping Norelli's cheeks.
What?
Yes. They promote their OnlyFans content on Instagram, but they put like an emoji and everything by there. But like they'll be like, oh, go to our Instagram. We just dropped like blah 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 some exclusive stuff, and you're just like, okay, go and click on it. Next thing you know,
couples who do that are bold. Cause there's no way.
I could never.
I hope my mama don't watch this. Mama, you don't know what OnlyFans is, but. That's like the weirdest thing to me. I mean, it's a good way to make money with your partner, but I'm not recording that for us.
Yeah. Or like it'll be Norelli like shaking her ass with that little pimple on her butt.
And that's why we're not posting it, because why are you making me do that and I got a pimple on my butt? Why didn't you tell me?
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
I'm cool. Couples who do OnlyFans together, apparently
crazy.
They don't stay together for sure. For sure. Okay,
and finally, are you team Megan or are you team Nikki?
Megan all day. If it was like Nikki from like, you know, itty bitty piggy type Nikki, I would be team Nikki, but you damn near 50 now. It's not that serious.
And the way she be acting is kind of...
That's like if my mama decided to beef with somebody like that. I'd probably tell my mom, I need to put you in a nursing home. Because you're mental. Because why are you being like that? But no, definitely Megan. Oh, she's handling it more maturely too.
Yeah, like, a lot better than I would have.
She ain't even responded to the diss, which is crazy. Like, she been promoting her song and whatnot, which, you know, hey.
Bigfoot was trash. I don't care what nobody says.
I hated the ending.
I don't like the fact that it's debuting and shit and making billboards.
It was whispering in the end. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, I hated that. Team Megan all day. That she could rap on beat. So, cause that last Nicki album. Team Megan. That last Nicki album was trash. Yeah, we don't even talk about that. And I thought it was gonna be really good because it had really good artists on there like J. Cole and G Herbo. I'm like, oh, okay, something we gonna play at the club.
Exactly.
I didn't hear not one Nicki song at the club. Like on New
Except
Year's.
Fuck the Club Up. That's probably like
I don't even think I heard that on New Year's.
Real? Damn.
Like, I hope I don't ever have to go to the club and hear that. I might quit for the night.
You will not catch me doing nothing to that
You'll
song.
hear a lot of I wouldn't say you'll hear a lot of Megan songs compared to Nicki though at the club, but if people need to start picking now, if the next party, I better hear some Megan.
Yeah,
for sure. Or I'm making tons of requests, so
exactly.
be ready.
Exactly. But all right, well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here.
Perfect.
Where can our listeners find you?
You can find me on Instagram at that Canon by Coop. You can find me on my personal official Canon by Coop. I don't know about giving y'all my Facebook yet. But y'all can go follow me on Snapchat, that young Coop. I post all my behind the scenes, my daily routines and stuff when it comes to photo shoots and stuff like that. I also post like all my deals and stuff a little more better on Snapchat and Instagram as well. So definitely keep an eye on that, and definitely look on my website because I am doing more better with that.
Fine print.
And read the fine print, please, because if you don't, Dayton will text you and tell you to read it. So, but definitely, I'll probably end up doing a little more better with showing my face and doing videos this year when it comes to Instagram. So, definitely follow me on Instagram. So,
all right. Well, thank you guys for listening in, for tuning in to my podcast, and that wraps up the first episode of Creative Conversations.
Perfect.